The first sample that I have here, different types of doing signs. One is an embossed letter and one is an incised letter. And this is a pretty good example of the incised letters are much easier to make and they show up better because it kind of swallows the light in the inside of the letter versus the embossed. So I like to show that as an example because we're going to be doing the incised letters using the lettering bit. Just another example is you can have the embossed letters, and if you need the embossed letters, by texturing the background makes the embossed letters stand out a little bit better, makes the background a little darker. What we're going to be using is a roto zip, and the router bits that we're using, the lettering bits, one is a 45-degree angle. That's this one here. That's the one we're going to be using for the sign. This one here is a 60-degree angle. These are carbide bits. And this one is a 90-degree. So you use the 90-degree if you've got a shallow board and you got to make a wide letter. And if you can go deep, then I use the 45. And this is the medium, kind of in between the two. So what we're going to be doing the sign on is, this is just cedar. So it's 12 inches long. It's a 1 by 6 that's 12 inches long. The important thing that I did with this first is I put 2 coats of varnish on it. So that seals it up real well. The reason for that is when I carve the letters in, I'm going to paint it right away. And if the varnish didn't seal that surface, then the capillary action of the fibers in the wood would make the edges of the letter fuzzy. So by putting the varnish on, that'll give a sharper edge to the letter. This is kind of a little quick example of what I did in paints and that. I was just testing it out on this board. So I do use also a laminate router. I'm going to be using a roto zip. But this laminate router has a 90-degree in it, and it's a high-speed steel. So you wouldn't want to be doing any hardwood with this because it would burn the tip pretty quickly. So, and I don't like the laminate router insofar that it is larger to hang on to, and I got small hands. So I like a little smaller handle, and the roto zip gives me that. So the roto zip I'm going to use has a nice handle that I can hang on, and then I use 2 hands. The other hand is on here, but I used most of the control is with the right hand on the handle. Then after we get done, I'm going to paint it, kind of show you how the painting works on it. The reason why the lettering bit, I use it for a lot of carvings. When I finish this demonstration, I'm going to show you how I do it. I'm working on another carving, and I just use it like a V-tool to do my stop cuts. Let's just start laying this out. Instead of drawing lines, I'm just going to put tape here. And I'm not going to the end because I'm going to put a tree on the end. And I'm just going to put my name in here. So I'm going to go up to the ends of the letter. But you notice I don't spend a lot of time drawing. You'll notice my first pass, when I start with the tip and coming around, it's not going to be very round. What I do is I go and I make the first cut and then I refine it and then I make it round. So I'm purposely, when I'm going to be putting in the letter, the first pass, I'm going to make it kind of squiggly and show you how easy it is to correct it. This is going to be a very easy router bit to control. It doesn't chatter like a regular router bit that's got a square bottom. As soon as this starts to chatter, it comes out of the hole. It releases from the side that is cutting. So it's very easy to control. There's very little chatter. And then on the end here, I'm just going to kind of do a little evergreen tree, kind of like that coming down. I'm going to turn on the fan. I'm going to shut my dust box here, switch the fan on and turn the router on, get my safety gear on. Okay. So I'm just going to start with my name, and the first pass is going to be wiggly. So I did that purposely to show you that it's real easy to clean that letter up to make a nice sized letter out of it. Because of the point, I can square up the ends. So I can make delicate letters and all that. So let me square up these rounded ends to show you just a matter of carving with the tip. So I'm going to take off my respirator. All right, the paint that we're going to use, I've got an oil-based varnish, but it doesn't make any difference to use the water-based, acrylic varnish, or oil-based. Once it's dry, it becomes just a plastic. So I'm using a red that I'm going to use the letters in green for the tree. Now, the nice thing about this, you don't have to be really careful. So I'm going to slop it up on the edges, on the top, and just make sure the letter is covered real good down in there. Because I varnished the top surface, I can just take the paint thinner and wipe it right off. Just making sure that it's got good coverage down in there. All the sides are covered good. Clean my brush off and switch to green paint here. So with this method, if you're working at a fair or some show, you can do custom signs for people. They can walk away with a sign already painted. You've already got all the varnish. The thing is sealed up, protected from the weather. The only thing they got to be careful of is the wet paint down in the inside the lettering. So now I'm going to take a little paint thinner. So that's basically how quickly that you can make a sign. And the customer now can walk away with the thing. The varnish is dry, the lettering is all painted. They have a pretty neat little sign. Any kind of pictures you want to put on there and that sort of thing. What I'd like to do is to finish the demonstration with a relief carving that I'm doing and showing how to use this router bit for roughing out. So this is the area I'm going to be carving out. This is going to be a serving tray, but it's going to hang on the wall also. So they're going to serve dry goods in this tray. Put on my goggles and that again. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make the stop cut going around, but I'm going to trench through this way. The grain is going this way. So this is a very good way to rough something out. By making lines this way, you have the short grain. So I'll show you how easy it is to clean that out. We just take it down one layer. I have to go down 3 layers to get to the normal depth. So now to clean this area out, the grain going this way, you can just easily go in there . So by doing that 3 times, you're down the depth. And it just takes a matter of minutes to do that. So it's a real quick way. And it's better than taking a router and routing the whole thing out. You got dust flying all over. We have a little dust made from the lines that we're cutting in, but not near as much as there would be without. And it's quite fast.